Everyone's in agreement that our prison system is failing. The politicians, the criminologists, ex-prisoners. There isn't anyone who's saying it is working. We need a change. My name is Jonathan Robinson. I used to be a helicopter pilot, educated, allegedly intelligent, and over a period of time I stole money from my employer and ended up going to prison for a very short time. What I saw going on in prison, or rather what I saw not going on in prison, was life-changing. When a judge tells you that you are indeed going to prison, the Shawshank Redemption flashed through my mind, and I actually, in all seriousness, thought it was game over for me. I seriously believed that by the end of that night I was dead. I came across this wonderful camaraderie in this classless island where everyone's in the same boat, and saw in an awful lot of prisoners huge potential. Yes, they were people who had done bad things, but they weren't all necessarily bad people. Invariably, if you get under their skin, some of them, if not most of them, have had ghastly childhoods. In my first prison, I had to teach youngsters how to make their beds. The shock as to the bubbling potential in some of them was, for me, like being hit by a train. I met so many people who quite rightly deserve to be in prison, but who the system was doing very little with. And that planted a seed in this bare little brain that we've got a prison system which has the highest reoffending rates in the EU, a reoffending bill of £13 billion per year, that maybe whilst we've got people in custody, we could do a little bit more with whilst we've got them. 70% of our prison population has the reading level of that of an 11-year-old. And it's also a proven fact that illiterate prisoners who are taught to read are less likely to reoffend. I'm ashamed to say that before my well-enforced holiday, I'd never heard of something called toe by toe. The whole idea of it is that literate prisoner A teaches illiterate prisoner B to read. So it doesn't cost anything, staff are not required to be involved. It's designed to tap on to this camaraderie within prison where so many prisoners want to muck in and help other prisoners, this whole peer mentoring theory. Believe you me, when you are allegedly bright and should have known better, and your life has hit the skids that you end up in prison, believe you me, there is, I don't care what it is you've done, there is a natural desire to try and do something correct, to put something back in, especially when you've had the breaks that so many other prisoners have never had. That was one of the hardest things I had to deal with. I'd had all the breaks. So I consented big time to teach these two guys to read. Two adults who couldn't read. But on the afternoon of, I think it was my first full day at this open resettlement prison, I was summoned to the office of the head of education of a private education provider who, for that geographical area during that time, a company being paid £7.6 million. And he asked me who had told me to get on with toe by toe. I told him the staff. His exact words to me were, "Those people have no power in this prison. You are to scrub the appointments. There will be no toe by toe in this prison." Whilst I fully deserved a very short time in jail, I'm not sure I'm the villain of the piece anymore. The system is. Somewhere in me, a decision was made to try, possibly, and make something positive out of this experience. And on about my last but one day, a real professional pedigree prisoner asked to speak to me and said to me, "Jonathan, will you try and use your influence to get some changes around here?" And I said to him, "Hang on a second, I don't have any influence whatsoever." And he said, No, the book. Make the book good. Let people know what's not going on. I've been, for the last 3 years, campaigning for prison reform. The good news is that the suits at the top have now seen what toe by toe can do, and they have now made it mandatory in all prisons. So with a bit of luck, there'll be no more private companies sabotaging it. I'm totally independent. I was in the House of Commons last month giving evidence to the Justice Select Committee, and it's very beneficial to be independent because I can say exactly what I saw going on without having to report to anyone. But it's a work in progress.